Do you remember that feeling? On a crisp Friday night, the stadium lights buzzing overhead, the roar of the crowd, and that one unified chant that could give you chills right down to your bones. For generations, the heart and soul of that spirit came from the cheerleaders on the sideline. But what if I told you that the image we all remember, the pom-poms, the high kicks, and the smiling girls, is only half the story? The true history of cheerleading is a surprising and sometimes bizarre tale that started with a bunch of guys and a whole lot of yelling. It's hard to imagine now, I know, but in the beginning, cheerleading was a man's world. Seriously. There were no pom-poms, no pyramids, just a group of college guys at prestigious schools like Princeton University, trying to get the crowd fired up with a good old-fashioned yell. In 1897, Princeton football officials even designated 3 students as official cheerleaders. It was a respected all-male activity for decades. Publications from the 1920s still describe cheerleaders using terms like chap and fellow. I mean, can you even picture it? A bunch of serious-looking guys in sweaters shouting things like, "Hurrah! Tiger! Boom!" It's a world away from what we think of today. So what changed? Well, like so many things in America, World War II changed everything. As young men went off to fight, the sidelines of football games back home suddenly fell quiet. And that's when the women stepped up. For the first time, girls took over the megaphones, and as one historian noted, girls really took over for the first time. By the time the war was over, the image of the American cheerleader had been transformed forever. By the 1950s, it was a girls' game, a staple of every high school in the country. I remember seeing them in their classic wool sweaters and long skirts. They weren't just leading cheers, they were the embodiment of school spirit, the girls that everyone looked up to. The 1960s became a golden age. The National Cheerleaders Association started hosting workshops for thousands of students. And this was the era of a true innovator, a man named Lawrence Herkimer. This guy was like the Thomas Edison of cheerleading. Not only did he found a massive cheerleading supply company, but he also invented the famous Herky jump and introduced the beloved spirit stick, a staple of cheerleading tradition that many of us probably remember from school pep rallies. I can still feel the excitement in the school gym when the cheerleaders would award the spirit stick to the loudest class. It was a simple, decorated stick, but to us, it felt like winning the Super Bowl. But the biggest transformation was yet to come. In the 1980s, cheerleading began to look less like a pep club and more like an Olympic sport. It started incorporating difficult stunts, tumbling, and high-level gymnastics. The game changed forever in 1983 when ESPN aired the National High School Cheerleading Scene. Suddenly, we were watching these incredible athletes on national television, performing routines that were breathtakingly dangerous and athletic. These weren't just sideline supporters anymore. They were elite competitors. With these new challenges came the need for greater safety, and organizations were formed to establish universal safety standards, making it a true, highly skilled sport. For me, and for so many guys growing up, cheerleaders weren't just a part of the game, they were the game. In the 1970s, I remember them in those classic long-sleeve sweaters and pleated skirts. Their cheers were simple, their movements were sharp, and they had a kind of wholesome girl-next-door energy that felt like pure Americana. They were the heart of the school, the ones who kept the spirit alive even when our team was losing by 20 points. Then came the 1980s, and everything got bigger. The hair was bigger, the pom-poms were bigger, and the stunts started getting more ambitious. This was the era of the high kick, the synchronized routines, and the beginning of that incredible athleticism. They weren't just cute anymore. They were impressive. They were the rock stars of the sideline. By the time the 1990s rolled around, it was a whole new ballgame. The music was louder, the tumbling was faster, and the pyramids were higher. You'd watch them and think, how are they even doing that? They had transformed into elite athletes right before our eyes. Looking back, they were always more than just girls in uniforms. They were the keepers of our school pride, the soundtrack to our Friday nights, and a symbol of that undefeatable, optimistic spirit that made growing up back then so special. From a simple chant at Princeton to the high-flying athletic competitions on ESPN, the evolution of cheerleading is a truly American story. It's a story of spirit, style, and a tradition that has been passed down through generations. What do you remember most about the cheerleaders from your high school days? Was it the classic uniforms, the iconic cheers, or that undeniable energy they brought to every game? Let us know your memories in the comments below. And as always, thank you so much for watching.